The 3 exercises you can do to hopefully help you with your back pain and your sciatic nerve problems. Let's get started. Alright, so let's come down to a seated position. We don't need the belt right this moment, so just put that to the side. The first exercise which we're gonna do is looks very simple, but I remember that this was incredibly uncomfortable for me at that time. This was like 5-6 years ago. But I remember it like today, how I just sat there and did these like stretches, and in the very beginning this was very uncomfortable. So keep that in mind, and I will remind you too, like throughout. This might look very simple and easy for someone that is not in a situation with lower back pain and sciatic nerve issues, but if you have those issues, then you know exactly what I'm talking about and how this will feel. So the first exercise is just sitting cross-legged. We will do both sides. And then you start to fold forward. So this was probably all I could do back then, which, you know, now you might think, oh, I'm at the same level, but maybe you don't feel pain. You only feel like a stretching sensation. So this is something you can stretch. But back then, this was like very painful. So I didn't really want to go further than this. But eventually, like, I relaxed my body more, and then I could go a little bit more down. So I think after doing this stretch for a little bit, each day I was able to just sit in this position basically with the forearms down on the ground. And so we're not here for the entire length of, or the entire hold of this pose. You can stay in this for as long as you want. Feel free to pause the video and just see how that feels. I'm just showing you these exercises. So I did this one as the first one, and that was really something that helped me a lot. So usually with the sciatic nerve pain, it gets worse when you tuck the chin to the chest. That's what I remember from back then. And so see if you can move your head a little bit up and down, chin towards the chest, doesn't need to touch. Just like lifting the head up and down. If that's too much, then don't do it. And so you just want to stay here. So now I feel like I want to go like deeper and relax all the way into it, but I know how you might feel right now. So stay there, stay with the breath. That's very important. Keep that breath going. So we're here for about 2 minutes. We should reach that now. And so then you can slowly find your way out of it. Take your time. Although I'm doing it a little bit faster, you take your time. And then you switch sides. So now you cross the legs the other way. And in your own pace, nice and slow, you walk your hands forward so that you can maybe come down with the forearms on the ground. But really, if you just sit here, and this is working for you, it's kind of painful, but not like super sharp pain. And it feels kind of good. And when you focus more on your breath, it gets better. Then stay there for a little bit longer. And again, total about 2 minutes in this one. And what I also found is that the more I train my core, and the stronger my core is, and also my glutes. So core and glutes is something you want to work on a lot and keep very strong to support the back and keep the back also healthy and pain-free. A lot of time back pain comes from not having the core strong enough, or the glutes. Could of course be many reasons. This is why you go see a doctor first. But oftentimes we sit a lot, we don't use the body a lot, we don't walk the stairs, we use the elevator or escalator, and we just don't use our glutes. And we also don't use our core enough. So that's how you can get lower back problems. Doesn't mean that it's the case for you, but oftentimes from students in my classes, this is what I have noticed, and also noticed in my own body. So this should be about 2 minutes. Slowly find your way back out of it. So then for the next exercise, we will extend one leg forward and then cross the other leg on top. So this is called in yoga half cow face. And so no matter if you're a yogi or yoga practitioner, or if you do jiu-jitsu or whatever you're doing, however you found this video, it doesn't matter. This is very generic, and just something I want to share again. This is my personal experience, what has helped me to get 100% pain-free. Yeah, so you try to stack your knees. Maybe for you this looks more like this. This is fine, or depending how open you are in your body or what limitations you have. And so then try to keep this foot flexed, the extended one, and then you start to walk your hands forward. So this might already be enough, just like one walk with the hands forward, maybe a little bit more. But really stay where you feel the sensation, where it feels kind of comfortable. No sharp pain, no tingliness, nothing of that. None of that. And then focus on the breath. Keep that breath going nice and soft through the nose. Try to relax into it. And again, we're holding here for 1 or 2 minutes. When you do this in your own pace, since I'm talking so much in this video, I think we will also do 2 minutes together now. So just try to relax here. And all these exercises from this video, this is something I did every morning. So I got out of bed, brushed teeth, and then maybe had a water or coffee or something, or a tea, and then I did these exercises. And once you know and you remember those and what you need to do, then it really only takes 5 to 10 minutes, depends how long you are in those holds. Feel free to do it shorter if it's really uncomfortable, or do it longer. And same here, so see how this feels when you tuck the chin to the chest. Move nice and slow, there's really no rush. Kind of the nicer things I noticed is that when you are in pain, you're actually really connected to your body, because everything you do, you feel in your body so much. And then when you're all healthy and pain-free, then usually we forget it, and we just take it for granted that the body can move like this and that we can do all these things. But with yoga, it's really giving you this feeling, this connection to your body that you always have. You always have that with you, and you always feel the body in a very strong way. Although you are not in pain, you have this really good connection to the body, and so then you learn really what to do, what not to do. And so eventually, through all these stretches, they led me to yoga, which I'm now teaching full time. So this is my passion, what I want to do and share. So I'm actually very grateful that I had this injury and that it led me on this path. It doesn't mean that it's doing the same for you, but in my experience, there's always a reason for everything that happens, and oftentimes we only notice it way later why things happened and that they're actually good things. Just trust that you're in this for a reason. You found this video for a reason. You found these exercises. Maybe you will discover yoga and dive deeper into that. Who knows? Just keep it up. Stay positive. Give it time. The body is meant to heal. Let's switch sides. This actually feels quite nice for me too. But I can imagine that it's not that nice for you right now. Walk the hands forward. And I found that yoga is really it's not perfect. It's not a perfect movement practice. And of course, it's so much more than just movement. There's so much more to it. But the yoga asana aspect, so all the movements that you do in especially modern yoga, and if you have a good instructor with modern sequencing and is very functional and focused on functional movement based, it's just so beneficial for the body. You move in all directions, you're stretching, you're strengthening, you become stronger, more mobile, just everything is moving so much better. There's some things that you don't do in yoga, of course, and I did some videos about those, what to do about it and how to make this practice really complete. But it was just amazing with my story of this practice and how I got into it, that it just healed my body completely. From feeling good to being injured and I felt so bad, I got back to a state that I have not been before. And I felt better than ever before, although I had this injury as well, lower back pain and pain all day. And it took me about, I would say, 6 months to 1 year of doing these exercises every day, and then also integrating some more yoga poses to it to really get rid of the pain and now feel really good. I would actually love to see my spine now. Maybe I'll go see a doctor again, have my spine checked out, how it looked, because what he showed me on the photos was really not good. The discs were really compressed, really thin, and he's like, your spine is not from a 25-year-old. I'm like, yep, it's from the skateboarding and from all the things that I love doing. But yeah. Okay, so let's slowly release, come back up. I think that was more than 2 minutes. Let's shake out the legs a little bit. And so then for the last one that I found really helpful, maybe you saw these exercises already in my yoga for jiu-jitsu classes. So you come onto your back, and then there's one you can do where you keep the leg bent, in this case the left leg, but really doesn't matter what side. And you bring the belt closer to where the toes begin, and you keep the leg mostly straight, but keep a micro bend here so you're not hyperextending. And then you just pull down. So you're actually lengthening the calf. And this might feel good for you. Give it a try, see how it feels. That's one of the exercises you can find in some other videos I did, mostly the Jiu-Jitsu yoga for BJJ videos. So we're not doing this one today. Today what I want to show you is extend the other leg as well. And now you can bend that leg again. Then you grab that strap with the left hand, so the right leg is up, you grab with the left hand. And the closer you go to your foot, the more intense this will be. So start nice and easy. And extend the free arm to the side, and then you cross that leg over. So you're actually in a twist with the spine, but you keep holding on to that belt, and you kind of pull a little bit on that belt. Keep both legs mostly straight. And then once you're here, doesn't seem like it's doing much, but I'm sure you feel it. Once you're here, you actively reach with your right hip, so that top hip, down away from you. And maybe you feel it right there, and then you stay there and breathe, and you stay for a couple of breaths, then you release again. You can also just stay here and stretch it out for a minute or two, or however long feels comfortable. It could be that you only can or want to do 20 seconds or something, or 10 seconds even. That's perfectly fine. If you want to stay there longer, then feel free to go ahead. Once you're done with that, let's bend that leg that has the belt around it, and then slowly help that leg back up. And then we switch sides. Keep a gentle pull on that belt. Left arm is extended away from you, and then you reach that top hip away from you. Or you just relax. Try it out. See how it feels. Bend that leg. Slowly release. Remove that belt. Hug knees into the chest if that feels good for you. And take a few breaths or moments on your back. So that's really those 3 exercises that worked for me. I hope you find them helpful. And if you are in this situation